Okay, so Hashbang TV coming from the Business Leaders Network, Making It Mobile, 2012. Longest title ever. So anyway, we're joined by Michelle from Shhmooze. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. So tell us a little bit about Shhmooze and what you do, but kind of keep it 60 seconds.
Yikes. Okay, Shhmooze is the people discovery app for professionals. We like to think of ourselves as the app that LinkedIn really should have built. So we show you who you know and help you discover who you need to know when you're at an event. We also actually show you where your contacts of the events that they're going to attend. So basically you can decide, oh my god, that's a really great face-to-face meeting that I'm going to meet. I had to meet Chris. I'm going to meet him 2 weeks' time. You can make the most of every face-to-face opportunity.
And I just downloaded it. 21 people here that I know on LinkedIn.
Oh my goodness, you're Mr. Connected. I only have 4.
I've had Shhmooze for ages. In fact, the Power of One. You pitched the Power of One thing, didn't you? And so I've had it since then. And yeah, so every time I tend to have a look and the LinkedIn connection. And I noticed the meetup thing's been added as well.
Yes,
that's quite good. That's
Eventbrite, Meetup, our own Shhmooze events. We're integrated with LinkedIn, with Twitter, and we're adding new social networks in the new year as well.
Cool.
Excellent. But so, what's your personal background? How did you end up? How did you make it into mobile? What have you been doing?
How did I make it into mobile? Okay. When I was 23, I had a brain injury. This is a big deal. I went from being this photographic memory, amazing sort of machine for remembering and doing things, to going home to my parents in a wheelchair. And I started back then using tech to help me, but it was 1998, so you're looking at a landscape where there's no Wikipedia, there's no Blogger, there's no YouTube, there's no Facebook. So to be stuck in Tyrone with dial-up internet and a damaged brain, I was suddenly realised the importance of information. So I started basically using my laptop back then to sort of retrain my brain. And I remember the first time I had a mobile phone, it was when I moved to Dublin in the year 2000, just out of rehab straight into my real life again. And I got this brick, and I could start putting information in the SMSs. So I would put in my emergency number so people could contact me if I was sick. And I started putting in things like my address. So when I forgot my address, I would look it up. So that was my first time of having data on the go. So when smartphones came along, and I was like, you mean I can have Google with me always, everywhere? I was so sold on it. And what happened then was I'm a conference junkie, and in 2009 I was like at DDD Galway, I was at WDC San Francisco, I was at something in Dublin. I was very drunk, I have no idea what it was, but it was awesome.
Sounds like most things in Dublin.
We went to London for another Microsoft event, wound up in Amsterdam at the MIMO event, and every time I went to an event I was like, who do I know? And I'd end up in the next city and go, well, I just missed this and this amazing opportunity. So 2010 we formed the company, put our first app out in October 2010. We redesigned from scratch this year to make a really awesome experience that is Shhmooze.
Cool. Wow. So, I heard you pitch earlier. So, is it available on iPhone only or other platforms?
We're iOS only, and that's because we're a teeny tiny team who are trying to close our seed round at the minute.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with specialising. Yeah. Works for Instagram.
We actually were on Android and we had to pull back. To really, really nail your product, I think it's important to focus on one platform. I think that actually, if you ask me, the biggest mistake we ever made with Shhmooze, it was going on to Android before we had absolutely nailed it. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. We split our time, we split our resources, and to be honest, this summer, if I had the money that we'd spent going on to Android and all the support and all the time back, that's when I needed it. And I would say that to anybody in this space. Get it right on one. Choose Android or choose iOS, but be religious about your users, because you've got enough people on any of those platforms to prove your product.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
good advice.
It's great advice for a startup, absolutely. You've got to focus and you've got to check out everything else. And at the moment, that means getting rid of Android and focusing on iOS, definitely. Yeah, really interesting. So what next for Shhmooze then? How do you make it even more viral? How do you get it across the world, all events? What's the next big thing you're going to do?
Well, at the minute, Shhmooze is really great because actually we work really well at an event, even if there's just one user. So I talked about the chicken and egg problem. I mean, an awful lot of apps work in that space where everyone has to download the app, everyone has to use it, everyone has to put all their information in to make it handy, to make it useful. But we just work. So actually this morning at Making It Mobile, I was the only person checked in on Shhmooze, sadly for me. But I was able to see 4 of my LinkedIn connections, I was able to see 7 of my Twitter connections, and I'm able to reach out to those people and arrange the meeting. meetings. We work spectacularly well at the minute with Meetup. I mean, there are some really amazing Meetup events, and I just go there. And actually, I was using Shhmooze to try and find an iOS developer, because it's not just about individuals. It's kind of like we were like going, need an iOS developer, stick it into Shhmooze. We can see the events that iOS developers are going to be at, and we were able to position ourselves to get to the places and then pinpoint the individuals we need.
Oh, that's cool. So you can actually use it as a kind of research tool. It's not just at the event. You can actually plan ahead.
Yeah, so
nice.
We're waiting for approval on our I Would Like to Meet tool.
Yeah.
And I Would Like to Meet is the really key thing, where actually we're not talking about your existing connections, but you say, do you know what? I'd really like to meet Mike Butcher. What you can do is put in Mike
I'm
Butcher.
not sure about that. Not sure that's a real use case, is it?
I'd like to meet Mike again, just in case Mike's watching.
So James would like some face-to-face time with Mike Butcher.
Yeah, Bardell clearly doesn't need to be in TechCrunch, but you know.
Some of us would like to be in TechCrunch. So the idea is that you can put in Mike Butcher, and we'll tell you where he's, publicly committed to be in the next few weeks. Now you can do one of two things with that information. I would advise you to actually check out if you want to meet Mike or if you want to get in TechCrunch. If you want to get in TechCrunch, I think there are smarter ways to get in. But if you really, really want to meet Mike, we're going to suggest ways that you can, get your LinkedIn relationship smarter if you have one, get Twitter connection, try and build a relationship with Mike. On the other side, you could just plan to bump into him at the event and be thoroughly well prepared for that moment where you've got the 60-second pitch. That to me is key usage, because at the moment with people discovery, it's kind of like going, you're in Pizza Express, you're cramming a pizza into your face, and then somebody says, Mike Butcher's at the table beside you, and you're going, oh! Because most of us don't want random people discovery. Most of us want to have planned encounters that we're prepared for, that we can get our maximum value from.
Cool. Surely people want to be planning to get on Hashbang TV rather than TechCrunch nowadays, but that's a separate. So final thing then, how can we help you? You're raising an angel round now.
We're raising an angel round right now.
You've got an exec summary ready to go. You can send it to people. Yeah.
And we're pitching. We have a demo day in London on the 7th of December. We've then got our demo day in New York on the 10th of December, and then we have our final demo day in Facebook's headquarters in Menlo Park in San Francisco on the 12th. So if you could really help me right now, I think at the end of all that, it would be really nice to just give me a week off.
It's Christmas.
I'm happy with checks.
Checks work.
Yeah. Bank transfers quicker.
Oh, well, yeah. But then you see with the check, you can take a photograph or photocopy. Oh, sorry, I'm so digital generation.
Nice little memento.
Angel round check. Cool. Good luck, and I'm sure there are plenty of angels and super angels that watch Hashbang TV. So check will be in the post.
Yep. Then just have to get onto finders at shhmooze.com.
Good stuff.
There you go.
Nice one.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks a million for having me, guys.
Cheers, Michelle.